Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Soup Breakdown. Today we're going to be looking at the GAT-X103 Buster Gundam, piloted by Diarca Elsman. The Buster is a DLC suit, but the Buster has one of the more... We say a lot of things are unique in this game. The Buster definitely has the most unique setup in this game. It has no melee. What you may notice instead is that by using the melee button, I was able to change my sub-weapon, my left bumper weapon. We will go through all of it. The Buster has a lot to cover. First off, you have your basic shot. Does pretty good damage. Reloads on its own over time, which is pretty good, of course. If you charge it, you can use the Garobi, which can be curved. The little Garobis, always the best. You have Missile Barrage, which has pretty good lock on it. Even in green lock, it seems to be able to really just chase people down pretty well. And then you have the Full Barrage, which is pretty good. Fires off a shot from basically everything and also has missiles. And then, of course, the first has the Garobi as well as everything. The Striker will also fire off the shot. That is our basic shot. Pretty good. It fires off the shotgun blast, that is. We'll get into what the Buster can actually do here, though, because there's some pretty interesting things. You have this beam shot that's pretty damaging. You can also charge your left bumper shot, your sub-weapon, to be able to use the Garobi as well. In fact, that's the one I normally charge to do it. I find the beam rifle seems to be really good for just quick pot shots. Then you have the shotgun, that's pretty good damage. There's no difference on the Garobi based on how you charge it. Then you have the missile, which does really solid damage, takes a little while to respawn. And then you have the mines, which are my favorite thing about the Buster. We'll get into all the little intricacies and things like that as we go here. Ways that I recommend to use them. The Buster's a weird recommendation for sure, because it doesn't have melee, and so many suits in this game are built around getting in and hurting you. Your main goal is to basically play keep away, or to just give into it and get in real close and then capitalize as much as you can, using your mines, using your harpoon. I say harpoon, your missile, using your missiles. Just really capitalizing on the fact that they're going to keep diving you to try and get damage in. The Buster can also be really good in a shootout. So if, for instance, you have another ranged suit that you're fighting, the Buster can be really good there. The only fight that I really have trouble with the Buster is a complete melee-oriented suit, or something like the Virtue that has that GN barrier that makes it a little bit difficult to get in with some attacks. Finish this off here. And then as we go into the second round, I will show you some trick shots, things like that you can do with the Buster's arsenal that it brings to the battlefield. But of course, as we go into round 2, we must ask, should you use the Buster? And because it's a DLC suit, should you purchase the Buster? If you want something completely unique from everything else in this game, yes, purchase the Buster. However, I will put a big asterisk there and say that you are purchasing the Buster knowing that there are no melee attacks at all. Unlike the Cherubim where you can do that little kick, or the Dynamis that is, where you do that little kick, there's nothing of that sort here. It is going to be no melee at all forever. And that's fine, there are some fun things you can do with that, but you need to be aware of that fact when you purchase the Buster, because it is a purchasable suit. With all that said, though, how does it compare, should you use it? I think, yes, if you don't mind purchasing it, I think it's a lot of fun to use. It's very different from everything else you're going to use in this game, and because of that, it can give a good variety to a game that is a little, bogged down by melee units in some cases. We'll get into the actual, weapons here and trick shots and into all the recommendations. I think it's really good for 2v2s. I don't actually think it's that great for 1v1s unless you're really good with it. The missiles there are really good to actually just hit with, to connect with, if they're close. but they're also really good for putting some distance between you and maybe some opponents that want to get in there and melee you. That is a straight shot. If you miss it because they're in green lock, that's on you. If the missiles do not connect with the ground, if you do a quick, I'm going to show it in just a second. You do a quick jump shot with them. The mines, that is, not missiles. Do a quick jump shot with them. I didn't get high enough. They will continue traveling forward, which is really cool. You can use that to put a barrier between you and your opponent, very much like the Yan. He ran into him, but you see what I mean. I use this beam shot normally for if I see they're about to fire a big like Garobi or a big beam. I'll use that to interrupt them. Then I use this mainly for damage. Make sure that I'm in a straight line with them and just capitalize on it. We're going to try and put those mines between us. There we go. They will slowly drift down. And then you want to be on the other side of your mines always. Keep that barrier. You can do a little spin with this. It won't fire as much as it would otherwise, but it can allow you to dodge some attacks you might not otherwise have been able to dodge. Obviously, toggle your charge when you can to be able to get that Garobi in and really do some damage. Cancel out of it if you need to get away. Don't be afraid to just use your ammunition as you switch between them, because they will reload even if they're not selected as the main weapon, which is very nice. Between us. Burst. Run underneath them. Yep. That way if he wanted to dodge up, he would have been in the minefield, so he would not do that. There's a lot of little tricks you can do using the mines and using the missile. The Buster is a lot of fun, in my opinion, to play around with because of that. Because you have so many options, and all of them give you, depending on how you use them, a different spread of abilities. But of course, it all does rely on you. So, you know, if you do not capitalize on what you're doing, then you will not be able to use it to its full effectiveness. That was the right way to put it. I'm not going to let time win this one. Come on now. Line it up. Oh, we didn't line it up right. Alright, we'll just get in and... Oh, come on now. There we go. With all that said, though, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that the Buster has to offer.